everyone, so this week we're going to be talking about sit, down, and stand. So here we're going to start off with the sit. Now the fastest way to teach a sit, in my opinion, is to lure one. The thing about the food lure is we don't want our dogs becoming dependent on this, so you're going to see me fade off on the lure very quickly. But all I'm doing right here is holding a treat out in front of Wrigley's nose, and as soon as she's interested in it, I'm slowly lifting it up over her head goes up, her butt goes down. After about 5 repetitions of that, I want to start fading off on that food lure. So I'm holding my hand in a way that looks like I'm pretending to hold a treat, clicking when she sits, and then reaching in my treat bag to give her a treat. And here I'm starting to escalate more to holding my hand up higher and higher so it's not right at her nose, but she's still going through the motions of the sit. Now once your dog is doing well with what's turning into a hand signal for the sit, we're actually going to start teaching them the verbal word. So what you're doing here is you're going to say the word first, then make the hand motion. So I'd say sit, then follow that with my hand signal up. When she sits, I'll click and give her a treat.
Sit.
Next step to this is actually just saying the verbal cue sit without any hand signal whatsoever. Make sure when you start doing this, say sit, wait a couple seconds. If your dog sits, click and treat. If they look at you very confused, again, help them out with throwing that hand signal up. Next, we're going to talk about down. So there's 2 different ways we can go about teaching the down. Again, we're using the luring. Here, I'm putting Wrigley in a sit first. She's already halfway down if she's already in a sit, so it makes it pretty easy. All I'm going to do is put the treat right at her nose and draw a straight line down in between her paws. The moment she collapses into that down, I'm going to click and treat her. Now here is the other way. I'm actually going from a stand. If you're doing it this way, what you want to do is go at an angle down again in between your dog's paws, hold that treat still. When your dog collapses into the down, give them a click and a treat. And again, after a few repetitions of this, I'm quickly fading off of having the food right at her nose and starting to pick myself up higher and higher. So not following her all the way to the ground with that hand signal, I'm starting to stand all the way up. Again, if your dog is struggling with this, go ahead and go further down with them, but slowly try to increase the increment that you can fully stand up with still giving that hand cue and your dog is understanding what it means. Adding the cue is the same as before. We're going to say down first, then present our hand signal, click and treat when she goes down.
Down.
Then we're going to begin to test the down cue without the hand signal. Again, click and treat the moment your dog goes down. If they struggle with it, go ahead and help them out with flashing that hand signal after a couple seconds of waiting them out after you've cued a verbal down. Here I'm showing you the sit from the down. Dogs have to use different muscle groups to get up from the down into the sit with this one instead of just sitting from a stand, so it can be a different motion altogether. I'm going through the same steps, which is lure at her nose at first, quickly fading that off into a hand signal, and then eventually I'm going to just cue sit and she pops up into the sit. Alright, now here we're going into teaching the stand. Just the same as the other ones, we're starting off with the food lure and going to fade that out pretty quickly. Now, the stand is not a necessary behavior. I think it's nice for dogs to understand what stand means. If you're going to brush your dog for grooming or put a harness on them, any kind of body handling, it can be helpful for a lot of dogs to know the stand so you don't have to manhandle them so much. As you can see, this one's very easy to teach. All I'm doing is luring Wrigley out of the sit or out of the down, click and treat as soon as she stands up. When you're ready to add the verbal cue, again, verbal cue first, then the hand signal for a couple repetitions, then try saying the verbal cue stand without any hand motions, click and treat if your dog stands. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Happy training.